Welcome back to Tea Time with Sweet, y'all. And if you know me, you know exactly what this next category is. It took a lot of willpower not to do this one first, but I didn't want to be biased. Before I tell you what it is, like and subscribe here, head over to TikTok and follow over there, and submit your stories at teatimewithsweet@gmail.com. And now it's time for my people, the elite messy aunties. Ratchetness has been running rampant in my family for generations. My aunt got married and she separated from her husband. During the separation, she started dating a married man and she had 2 kids with this married man. So my aunt gave her children her husband's last name so they could get Social Security benefits. I failed to mention her husband died, so her kids was receiving Social Security benefits from her dead husband who wasn't their father. Ooh. You know, usually when y'all get out of pocket, I tell y'all I'm calling the cops, but I don't want to knock nobody's hustle. Listen, because karma, and I don't want nobody knocking mine. As long as I can remember, my aunt has put her father on a pedestal, even though he beat my grandma, her mom, when they were married. They divorced when she was born. No matter what you said against her dad, she would come back swinging. The Christmas before my grandma died, my middle sister got an ancestry DNA kit. Oh, Lord. She forgot about it, then my grandma died. We all thought it would be nice if my sister did the DNA kit and try to find out the results around my grandma's birthday. We found out basic stuff like genetics and that kind of stuff. So months go by and nothing. Then I get a call from my sister warning me about my aunt. Y'all already know I keep the smoke for somebody's auntie. My aunt had asked my sister to put her on the family tree and to have it to where family members could contact her if they were found, thinking that distant cousins could contact her. See, look at her trying to get ahead of the mess so she could be messy. Because this is what aunties do. Like, it wasn't even your kid, sis. But it wasn't a cousin who contacted her. It was a half-sibling. Turns out my grandfather had 15 other children with 3 other women. There is a whole Facebook group dedicated to it called the Descendants of Patrick. There's always that delusional sibling. It's usually a daughter. And all I'm saying is my dad got 2 and it ain't me. But please get into this follow-up. Oh, and my great-grandfather, my grandma's dad, had a bunch of side chicks who had kids, and there's also a Facebook group for that. My aunt has been blocked from both. She ain't even really do nothing, but her being blocked has me tickled. That lets me know that your aunt is messy and everybody is sick of her. Everybody. Because these people don't even know her like that for real, and they got her blocked. When I was about 2, my mom divorced my father because he was and still is an addict. And she was afraid that he was going to end up unaliving me after driving drunk with me in the car several times. I saw him pretty rarely after that, and my mom really did encourage me to have a relationship with him and his side of the family, but he and his sister were so emotionally manipulative and abusive towards me that I went no contact when I was 17. Have I ever told y'all how much I love a good boundary? Some background on my father before we move on. He's number 3 of 4 from a rich family. Hold on, I'll be right back. Old money tea? I had to go and bust out a good glass. Some background on my father before we move on. He's number 3 of 4 from a rich family. His dad, my grandfather, blew his kids' $30+ million inheritance from their grandparents on himself and his hobbies long before I came around in the mid-'80s. And he and his younger sister have been overindulged and bailed out by mommy and daddy their whole lives, resulting in them both being malignant narcissists. He moved 1,000 miles away to Florida after the divorce so he could be closer to his sister. She includes some details about her aunt and her aunt's trash. And to avoid paying child support for me. Cut to my 32nd birthday and I get myself an ancestry DNA kit. Much to my shock, when I got the results, I discovered that I have a half-sister in Florida who is 5 years younger than me and who was adopted at birth. She had always known she had an older sister somewhere in my home state, but because our mutual father used a fake name when he signed the original birth certificate and adoption papers were sealed, she had never had a chance to find me until now. I might just choose violence and do an ancestry DNA kit. I needed answers, so I sucked it up and called my aunt. After having to hear her talk about herself like she should be given a sainthood for convincing my dad's drug-addicted girlfriend to allow the baby to be adopted out, she finally informed me very proudly that they will pay a lot of money for pretty blonde babies in South Florida.
Well, damn.
Yep, she was the mastermind behind the plan to literally sell my sister for $60K. That's roughly $115K in today's money. She and my father took all the money for themselves and blew it in record time. And all that my sister's bio mom got was a pair of bus tickets back to West Virginia for her and her older daughter and the hospital bill from having the baby. I'm always getting dragged by my family because I'm not a Christian. I'm a pagan. I'm big on crystals. I'm just not a believer. My sister is a holy roller who never misses a chance to tell me that I'm going to hell. I feel like there's about to be some messy auntie shit. I don't know which one of y'all it is, but it's going down. Fast forward to Thanksgiving a couple years ago when she lit into me again. She thought she ended it again by telling me I was going to hell, but she didn't this time because I had had enough.
Oh, so it's you, isn't it?
I told her I'd see her there, and she said, "Why, I never," while clutching her pearls. I replied, "Yes, you did, at least 4 times, because none of your 4 kids have the same daddy."
Responding, "Yes, you did," is taking me out.
Dead silence. Her kids did not know this information, and they were there.
Oh, sis, you chose violence.
First child, a girl. Father was my sister's first husband. Second child, another girl. Father was a bar hookup while my sister was in the Navy and still married to her first husband. Third child, a boy. Father on the birth certificate is a second husband. Real father is another bar hookup. I was there, I know. Fourth child, a boy, belongs to the second husband. All of this has since been verified by DNA. Sis, I might go to hell if it exists, but I'll definitely see you there. And both of my kids have the same daddy. When are y'all going to learn to tread lightly with the messy auntie? You knew exactly what your sister knew, and you knew exactly how your sister was, and yet you continue to try her. I'm trying to tell y'all, more times than not, the messy auntie was provoked. And if you want to play with it, but you get what you get. Listen, from one messy auntie to another, I stand. Let me tell you something. I would have done the same thing, and not a single fuck would be given. If you don't have any messy auntie merch, you need some because you are definitely in the club. Hell, I might even send you some. Stay messy. And always spill the tea. I spent a lot of time at my great-grandparents' house growing up, along with my brothers and our cousins. My grandmother and her sister, let's call her Mary, and her sister Kat, made it a game of which kid they could get to cry first. That's putting it nicely. It was mental and emotional abuse. Another grandma that can catch these hands. They were worse to me, always saying nasty things about my mom for having 7 kids by 27, and a lot about her near decade she was in and out of mental hospitals after losing my older sister at birth, and supposedly bad things she did in that time. Recently found out a lot of what they said was true, but that's another story for another time. Like trash talking a grieving mother is what keeps you warm at night, Grandma? Kat never had kids. In fact, she despised children and always told us to be seen and not heard. Everything we did annoyed her. Mary had my father at 16 after running away with my grandfather to get married. They had 4 more kids, and my great-grandparents raised them and supported them more than Mary ever did. Where did you find the audacity to trash talk my mama about how many kids she got and you don't even take care of yours? Fast forward to October of 2019, I got a message request from a random lady, we'll call her Ella, claiming she was my aunt. Turns out my dad had a sister I didn't know about. After a long conversation and some digging from me, we find out that she is Kat's daughter. Ooh, Kat, you scheming raggedy bitch. Kat had a baby before she met her husband, put her up for adoption, and as far as I know, not a single person in my dad's family knows. I asked my dad and he knew nothing about her. My mom and pop were the type of people that would have adopted their grandchild, so I'm almost certain they died never knowing. Parts of me wants to tell the entire family about Ella, but the other part of me wants nothing to do with them. Do I help karma reach Kat, or do I just leave it alone? I would have dragged Kat at the speed of light the moment I found out. Tea everywhere. It's what she deserves. Stay messy. And always spill the tea. I don't know why you asking me, because you knew what I was going to say. Some years ago, I was dating this guy off and on for a few years. He was friends with my cousins, so became real cool with my whole family. We stopped messing around, but we're still cool, hung out from time to time. One night, I get a call from a friend saying they couldn't take me not knowing and told me that he was sleeping with my aunt. I couldn't believe it. Messy aunties, we are not coming out of this one looking good. So I investigated and found out it was true. I confronted her and let everyone in the family know what she did, including my grandma, her mom, and I had my brother beat the guy up. See, now your brother understood the assignment, because I say this all the time, there don't be enough scuffles. Fast forward, I'm in another relationship and get pregnant, but my daughter didn't make it. Me and the guy parted ways after her death, still on good terms. My cousin, the aunt's daughter, who I'm close with, so I thought, becomes pregnant. She said it was a one-night stand, didn't know the guy or can't find him. Has the baby, gets pregnant again, uses the same excuse. The family isn't buying it this time. We're questioning her and trying to figure out what's really going on. Finally, it comes out that she's been secretly dating my ex and they now have 2 kids. If my daughter would have lived, she would have had sibling cousins. So to sum it up, my aunt and cousin, mother and daughter, both messed with dudes behind me. Can't be trusted. So remember how your brother beat old boy up? Now is your chance, sis. Your cousin out here making up all these stories, but whole time her mama knew too. And she played in your face long enough to have 2 kids by him. Couldn't be me, girl. Stay messy. And always spill the tea. I was doing some self-reflection, right? And I realized that all the smoke that I have for aunties is my own internalized messiness. While I am my mom's only child, I be forgetting I am only one of 3 of my dad's children. And the other 2 have children. I am the single, childless auntie, and look what I spend my days doing. Spilling tea. And I cannot confirm nor deny that I have not sat and pondered clapbacks in event that my siblings tried me when we were all in one place at an event such as funerals. This whole time, I thought I was just the youngest outspoken rebel child. I am the messy auntie I be talking about.